And for a moment, just for a very brief moment, I felt like a glimmer of the old New Japan that I fell in love with, that made me fall in love with wrestling again. Unfortunately, this would not last. Because the first match of the actual main show, we had members of the Jericho Appreciation Society, those being Jericho himself, Sammy Guevara, and they were joined by Minoru Suzuki, joined by members of the Blackpool Combat Club, being Moxley, who else was it? Moxley Kingston, who isn't in the Blackpool Combat Club, even though they were announced as a Blackpool Combat. Never mind. And Shota Umino. And the winner of this match got the advantage at Blood and Guts the following week, which I'm going to bitch about something real quick here. Multiple times during this pay-per-view in which you had to pay $50 to watch, they plugged an event on free television on a pay-per-view. What the fuck?
Gotta get them views somehow.
Like, what the shit? Why are you plugging something for free on something you had to pay $50 to see? You got that shit backwards. You got that shit, and they should have done Blood and Guts first and used it to advertise fucking Forbidden Door.
Yep.
And here's the other thing that kind of annoyed me is the only reason we had this match is because Blood and Guts was the following week. As opposed to having a showcase of the best that AEW and New Japan had to offer, we get this pile of shit.
AEW versus AEW.
I mean, essentially, yes. With a couple Japanese guys mixed in for funsies. I just had a simple notes here. It's like, Tay Conti is fucking beautiful. Because she is. And
true.
I hate and love Sammy Guevara. Like, I simultaneously want to give him a high five and kick him in the dick. Which I think is what he's going for, so hats off to him. And I can't cut him up too much because I made a comment a long time ago that Sammy could do better. And he did better, so.
That is true.
Good job, Sammy. I saw that and I was like, well, shit. Now I kind of feel like an asshole. But it's true. So, there was one moment that made me extremely proud, though. And that was when the audience was singing along with Minoru Suzuki's entrance music, which is in Japanese. And I love the fact that somebody like Minoru Suzuki can be over, albeit with a niche audience. But it's the second largest audience in American wrestling, so... I love that. Yeah. I love that Japanese wrestlers can get over in the States now. I only wish.
And that's a good thing.
So.
And that's good for the Japanese people because then they can get over. They can have the American viewerships go over and watch the New Japan stuff,
right?
And vice versa.
Yeah, and I've always said it was a crime that Tanahashi isn't featured more on American television, and I hope that changes. And I would be.
Yeah.
If I'm New Japan, I would... Their best position is to not be exclusive with anyone, which they aren't as of yet. For a long time, they had an exclusive agreement with Ring of Honor, and I thought that was a mistake. Because it prevented them from doing much with WWE, even though they did lend Jushin Thunder Liger for one NXT TakeOver. And I'd love to see more of that. Could you imagine, for a moment, WWE, if you are listening, feel free to steal this booking. Could you imagine for a moment, you give Shinsuke Nakamura a title. Like, give him a title that's worth a damn. Like, honestly, give him the heavyweight title, please. Even if you need to split it again. I don't think you should, but give Nakamura the heavyweight title and have him go through a few people. And then he can come out with a manager, because let's be real, Nakamura's biggest strength, even in Japan, his biggest strength was never talking. He's more of a body language sort of guy. So give him a manager that's worth a damn. And then just be like, have that whole, like, you know, is there no one else? Is there no one else? And then Tanahashi descends from the ramp. Mr. McMahon has made a call to find the one man other than AJ Styles. The one man other than Kota Ibushi. You know, the one man who can defeat Shinsuke Nakamura. And he had to go all the way to Japan to get it. Now, this would require... The super fans would love it, but I think the average WWE fan be like, who's that Japanese feller? He sure got long hair. Tell you what, he looked like a lady over there.
He does. He got that real nice tan body.
He got a real nice tan body right there. He must work out.
I don't think how he walks down that road.
I don't think that's true, especially if the announcers sell it like they sold Jushin Thunder Liger.
That is true.
Because if the announcers sell it, it'd be like, for those of you, and this is one time where Corey Graves could not be an annoying fuck. It'd be like, for those of you who don't know, this man, Hiroshi Tanahashi, however many times I forget, IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, the ace of New Japan Pro Wrestling, the man who carried the company on his back for a decade. He is the John Cena of New Japan.
True. And you know what's messed up is back to Jushin Thunder Liger. He was on that one NXT, and then he was in the next WWE game too.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yes, they had him in a game.
See, and if you do this sparingly, it'd be great for both sides because their wrestlers get exposure in the U.S., and WWE doesn't lose anything from their fans subscribing to New Japan World. It's not direct competition. And then, obviously, you know, WWE gets to bring in exotic talent when they need something, you know, something special. Or let's even go further. Let's say Roman Reigns is your champion. There's a number of... You could bring in Jay White for a while. I think he'd get over to a WWE audience. He'd certainly more so than him appearing on Impact for no fucking reason. Have Jay White show up wearing Bullet Club gear. Because he would. Yeah. He's leader of the Bullet Club. And then they can have this moment with Balor and AJ where they just kind of like... Because you got to remember, Balor was gone, AJ was gone by the time Jay White was even in New Japan, much less in Bullet Club. So it's like there's a shared history there, but it's not direct. It's not direct. It's not so direct as if like Kenny showed up in WWE, because there's direct links there. So then you could have this moment where the hardcore fans would be like, are they on each other's side, or are they... You know, could they... I know Finn's busy. This is just me talking out loud, but...
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the show. Oh, I had some other... I was during this match, I thought to myself, it's like, wow, you know, I would love to see Eddie Kingston in the G1 one year.
I think it'd be nice to see him in it.
Well, I think they're leading to that because there's a couple of people who I think are in this year's G1, but I'd like to see more. I would like to see some And here's the other thing too: is AEW could do something phenomenal here, because if they have a problem, well, they've got many problems. One of their biggest problems is their roster's too big.
Oh.
So what do you do with these guys? Well, let them go international. If somebody's getting stale on AEW television, send them to Japan for the G1. Send them to Mexico for the, you know, King of Kings pay-per-view, Triple Mania. They're already doing it for Triple Mania, so except that they're sending people over for Triple Mania that are also on AEW television, and I don't think I need to go into depth to tell you what the problem is there.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if Jericho's getting stale on American TV, hint, hint, send him over to New Japan for an angle for a month or two. Let him work over there. It's not like he's already over. Yeah, exactly. But I would love to see Eddie Kingston in the G1. I think Moxley's in the G1. I could have read that wrong. I know he's been in the G1. But, Oh, Wheeler Yuta was in this match somewhere. That's right. That he was the other He was the other member of the Blackpool Combat Club. Or maybe he wasn't. I just wrote a note here saying the best thing Wheeler Yuta ever did was getting away from the best friends.
Probably.
Frankly, it's the best thing Trent can do right now is to stay away from Chuckle Fuck and Pockets. As Jim Cornette would refer to them. Because I liked Wheeler Yuta okay when he first showed up, but now I'm really liking it. And I knew when he had that match where he got bloodied up all nice against Danielson, or I think it was Danielson. Yeah, it was Danielson. I was like, holy shit. Get him away from those dorks. The gimmick's run its course. It's done. Just break them up. They can have that whole unofficial thing like, yeah, we're buddies, but the whole best friends thing is like, because Statlander's already gone. Yuta's not fucking with them anymore. Trent's back together with Rocky Romero. That just leaves Chuckle Fuck and Pockets. And Pockets has been doing his own thing for a while now. So that just leaves Chuck Taylor, who won't get his contract renewed. I'll bet money on that.
Probably won't happen.
Oh, I'm betting money. You know, kudos to Tony Khan for not like outright firing people, and I get that, but also kudos to him for not renewing some contracts. Overall, the only disappointing thing was that the Jericho Appreciation Society won, which I understand why they did it, but again, we're putting a match on pay-per-view to build to an event on free television. This is reversed. The match overall had a nice New Japan feel. I liked it. Overall, glad to see some people getting over, particularly some of the Japanese guys. And it was a good match.